Hi, my name is Jessica Jacobs, and I'm currently a student at Liberty University. Tonight, I'm going to be focusing on what does the Socratic method look like in the 21st century classroom, specifically Socrates and his philosophy. Tonight, we're going to look at those key elements of Socrates. We're going to start with who was Socrates, what was Socrates' philosophy in the education field, and what does that Socratic method look like in today's 21st century classrooms. Socrates had a great philosophy based around wisdom and knowledge, and it impacts every classroom today. Socrates lived from 470 BCE to 399 BCE in Athens. Socrates is best known for his philosophy as one of our founding fathers of the philosophy of the Western world. But did you know that philosophy was not Socrates' first career? Socrates started as a mason before he moved into philosophy. And when he became a philosopher, he also became a teacher with many followers who followed his philosophy of education and his philosophy of knowledge and wisdom. Socrates never wrote anything himself, so all that we know about him and this philosophy is from his students. One of the most well known philosophers that we listen to know about Socrates was Plato. Plato wrote about Socrates as a man and really showed him as a humble man who did not think or say that he had all the knowledge and wisdom, which we know aligns with Socrates' belief that there is no absolute truth. And by this, Socrates really means that all men have the ability to learn and gain the knowledge and wisdom through their own exploration and endeavors and challenging one's perspective. We're going to move from understanding Socrates as the humble man and philosopher that he was and change our perspective to looking at that philosophy of education that has came from the philosophy that Socrates has taught. Socrates believed that students should be engaged in discussion through questioning, probing, and being required to defend their reasoning throughout their educational experiences. Socrates had a strong belief that by doing so, we will challenge one's beliefs and challenge one's perspective to really listen to others. His philosophy has helped create the theory that education should be a process of inquiry and that learners should be encouraged to question their assumptions and beliefs and really take a hands on seat in their own education. Education is just not about that teacher instructing the students, but really it's about the students discovering knowledge for themselves through exploration. And through that exploration and questioning of their peers, their teachers, and the other facilitators around, students can really push to find the Socrates philosophy of education approach through that reasoning and questioning. So now that we know about Socrates, what shaped him as the philosopher that he was, and what his philosophy of education was, let's take a look at how that Socratic method has shaped the 21st century classroom. We know that Socrates ultimately died for his beliefs and philosophy, and those around him at the time truly felt that he was a traitor and trying to brainwash the educators and the students around him during his time. Over time, it has really been seen that Socrates was a man and a philosopher that just had the knowledge and wisdom that would eventually be applied to education. He was just way before his time. In the 21st century classroom, most teachers really focus on using the Socratic method, even when they don't realize they are doing so. The Socratic method of instruction provides students with that opportunity to express what they believe through discussion, and they promote active learning. And by active learning, that means those students are at the forefront and they are pushing through and having their own say in their learning. Socratic seminars are a huge piece of that Socratic method. These increase critical thinking skills and promote students' abilities to analyze, comprehend, and evaluate complex texts. I have personally used Socratic seminars with sixth graders all the way down to first graders and doing an integrated study with first and sixth graders through a Socratic seminar, allowing my students to really push through their knowledge, ask each other questions, and challenge perspectives really help them to evaluate and analyze and comprehend a new text that most students had never seen before. This approach to learning allows our students to be active in their own education, while us as teachers stand back and facilitate through observation and probing and questioning at times when our students need it. By implementing this style of instruction in the 21st century classroom, teachers are ensuring that they are preparing their students for real world problem solving skills. These skills help build communicators and collaborators that will have lifelong career skills for success. Thank you for joining me and learning a little bit more about Socrates and the Socratic method and how it impacts the 21st century student. There are quite a few references out there regarding Socrates, but above are just three that are incorporated throughout this presentation. I hope you have a great time learning a little bit more about Socrates.